Hi, Jerry. Hey, Paul.
How are you?
Phenomenal.
And then, did you see the website? Posted stuff on the website. The big one doesn't have any.
Not yet.
So Paul Altizer is kicking it in gear, just like many true quarterbacks before him. Game by game, just puts it up another notch.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The competition is,
Yeah.
some very weekly. It's tough to play some of those teams and then step back out and play somebody decent.
I know. It's been
So you've been to
Week
see
the
your
last couple
daughter?
years, and it's not fair to,
Been to
you
see
know,
your daughter?
somebody beat them by 50 points.
We'll have a repeat of
Which
last
one?
week. We'll beat Sam.
Candace.
We'll beat PHS. Prove
Yes.
it will kill us.
Are you still grandma babysitter?
It was a pretty good
Oh, yeah.
football game.
Oh, yeah.
They're off this week, but we're going to be graced with her presence Thursday night, all day Thursday night and Friday.
She's a year old now, isn't she? Or pretty
She
darn
will be on the
close?
13th. Candace and Shane are taking an evening to themselves
Gee, what
For the-
happened?
for their anniversary.
That's nice.
Can't believe the little shit walking like that.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Grandpa taught it to her.
It was out of necessity. There was things she wanted to touch.
Duh. Yeah, and they were up here, right?
Yeah.
I have a way of doing that.
Same problem.
And now are the things
Well,
up a little
we
bit
have-
now?
No, we're trying to train her to leave things where they belong.
That's good.
All right. My Mickey says 6:30, actually 6:29. Well, it'll probably be 6:30 by the time I get a little focus. So I'm going to call us to order. And I'm going to make note that everyone is present. If you're absent, indicate by saying we've got an interesting agenda this evening. It's a little unique to any that I've put together in my 7th year. As you can see, we have some of the typical stuff, but we also, and I'll share it up front, we also need to have 2 executive sessions. And I don't want to piggyback the topics to confuse them. We're going to be doing interviews of candidates this evening for the fill position of finance manager for the town of Plattsburgh. And we're going to need to have an executive session. I'll more formally ask for the motion later to discuss the acquisition of property, the proposed acquisition of property in Katyville, as well as the sale of real property owned by the town. They're very unique and distinct items that I think would be well advised to address each of them in that fashion. I'm not sure how far we'll get before we take our first one, but that's the plan. With that said, the very first item under the supervisory report is the Water Wastewater Department request to fill a vacant position. I believe the committee has spoken with Scott about that. I know I've got some notes relative to that.
Yes. If I might just take the lead, Tom. That was discussed some time ago. There was one vacancy in the department prior to the untimely passing of Dave King. With Dave King's passing, it created a shortage in that department. But that, as we all know, Dave's passing was quite some time ago. And for myself, I'm trying to look for some other notes while I'm talking about this, but for myself, I think the department has been able to continue on shorthanded. I don't know of any lapses in service. I don't know of any breaks that were delayed, the repairs delayed as a result of being short one person. I would like at this time to recommend, as one person on the Water and Sewer Committee, that we forego any immediate appointments and we take a look at what's going to happen budget-wise. We can always figure on 6 months of salary for a laborer's position, and if the need should arise sometime in 2013, the money would be budgeted for that position, but I'm not in favor of appointing anybody at this point right now.
Are you talking about the position vacated by the death of Dave, or one that was open
Both
prior?
of them, both of them.
Both of them
We've
is
been, that department's been surviving, and it's been doing very well from my
Do
understanding.
we have a laborer, anyone with a labor class title in the department?
No, but
We didn't have
everybody,
we didn't have anybody when David died.
I know.
We promoted them all.
But
I think,
that happened without a plan, at least we had a laborer then.
but I don't think we need to have specifically a laborer to have somebody who
I
can
don't know.
get down and dirty in the ditch.
I might, as far as what we talked about, that's true, and we did talk about filling position, and in general, we told him that we're in favor of it. That was quite a while ago, a few months at least. But I might differ with Jerry in one respect, that if we're supposed to have a meeting tomorrow morning with Water and Sewer Committee, and if there's a need to, for some particular reason, if some particular need, I feel we might want to be at least filling one of these positions soon. And part of that is if there's any other anticipated things happening and training that goes with it, learning the job and that kind of thing, if that needs to be done. So I would not be in favor of saying, no, we're not going to fill a position.
My only concern is there work that would be titled as work a laborer would do that we don't have anyone else in the department that would be able to perform that? And I know everybody can work some percentage out of their class.
Well, Bernie, when we promoted all of those guys from laborers to MEO ones, we were told that it wasn't gonna be an issue and we weren't looking to hire a laborer
Exactly.
because they could all do laborer's work still.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what
Exactly.
we were told.
Dave was a MEO one? You had gotten one from, okay.
Everybody got,
Yeah.
when we appointed everybody, raised them.
So it's not that they
had
can't
no
do it.
labor.
Yeah, I recall that.
The
Yep.
reason that
I
we
recall.
promoted them was because they were doing other jobs in addition that were not in the classification of labor beyond.
Correct.
And that's why we need to do it. So, in terms of filling this position, I don't know that it needs to be filled just because it's something, no, everybody can do what a laborer can do. But there may be other reasons, and I think that we need to talk to the committee, the department head, and,
No other rationale was given in your
No.
committee meeting?
I'm comfortable with the Water and Sewer Committee meeting tomorrow, and then you can report back to us,
All right.
Everybody-
with what you found, what you think. You may get information you don't have tonight, and you may end up with what you're talking about being exactly the case.
Okay. I will be directing the same questions to Scott as to why is there a need before the end of the year, or what does he think that we can do? I think we're faced with a situation where we need to do more with less, if it's possible. But I would not be in favor of reducing services. You know, we don't want a water break that takes 6 hours, 8 hours longer than it would have taken because we don't have the extra set of hands. If I can be assured that that's what we're gonna be facing, should we have a Route 3 water break, I would be convinced to change my mind, but short of that.
And where my position would be on these filling positions, if we don't fill a position, then it means that we have to spend, 25% of what we would have spent had we filled the position, to pay overtime to people or whatever. We're still substantially ahead of where we otherwise would be. I just think that with the situation, the way what we're working with, that we should go slow on filling positions in all our departments.
The
well, we
challenging hiring.
also have an increased load in the area, not only in water, but in sewer. As we increase where we're going to Scarlet Falls, we're doing to other things, there may be other needs that we have, and I don't want to say right now that we're going to do one or the other.
And Tom, when we did Scarlet Falls, we were assured that we were not gonna have to increase the workforce. That we had the workforce to handle that workload.
Well,
Okay.
in the committee meetings that I've had in the past, there was talk about this because as we're expanding, and increasing the number of places.
Yeah, there's a tipping point. Macy Lane, I'm hearing now, maybe certainly will be off into some time in 2013. So Marty's suggestion that we let the committee meet to further discuss that and bring recommendation for further discussion. Well,
Gerard, can you just find out if this actually got posted somewhere? Because like I said, I had somebody 2 days ago approach me and said, you guys are hiring somebody? I'm like, not to my knowledge.
Okay, I'll find out.
If it did, it really, I mean, he really just needs to know, but kind of cart before the horse thing.
Sure.
Okay. Water wastewater department mainline sewer camera system. And again, I'll defer to the committee if you have any comments.
Okay, Tom was not here, so again, I'm gonna jump right in. That was one thing that was discussed at our September 4th meeting. I believe I emailed the minutes of that meeting to everybody. I've got copies here, if you would like them. The item number 4 was wastewater camera media truck bid for a budget item. The water wastewater department would like the town board to consider approving this for the year's budget. What the town, the impetus for going out to bid on this, the town paid $60,000 to have the line out on the base camera so that we could find out where the deficiencies were in that line. I think then the bid came back afterward for repairs of just over $1 million to fix that up. But to find out where we needed to start digging, where it could be sleeved, we paid $60,000 for that service. There's also been some talk, Scott said that highway would be able to use this. This is something that we could in effect rent out to the highway department, so part of the cost would be covered by shared service with within our own departments. And I'm sure other municipalities would be glad to hear that we've got a new type of cameraing system. This one here can also go into laterals, I believe, is what they had told me. So it's a high-tech piece of equipment. Maybe pricey for a year when we're trying to keep below a certain cap, but it's something that if we're going to be intent on fixing some of our deficiencies in our system, we probably should give some serious consideration as to the investment of this piece of property.
I had the chance to see the demo in August, I think. They went in one of the, well, they actually went in the lateral across the road here that comes into the town. It was quite amazing. And one of the comments I had is obviously you can see the savings of time and money by identifying what the problem is, by identifying whether it's a root or a plugged line as a result of rags or whatever that have been put down the system. But I'll jump on the conversation of 5 minutes ago. It's incredibly expensive. We talked, I'm going to talk again and again and again, I'm afraid, about $10 million worth of infrastructure needs. Everything from painting the Hammond Street water tank to a number of other things. Would it be a value? Would it have some savings? Sure. I don't know how long it would take for us to recoup the cost of purchase.
Any idea what we're talking about? I mean, ballpark.
Honestly, I don't recall. I don't have it written down in my notes, and I would not hazard a guess.
This man said it's
I would imagine it's
Is it
bigger
as
than a
big
red
as a
box.
donkey or as big as an elephant? Which was that?
Maybe not an elephant, but probably an
malnourished
overburdened hippo.
Well,
Jerry, did you say some other towns were?
I'm sure that we would get the benefit of being able to rent it out, lease it out to other municipalities. The city of Plattsburgh doesn't have anything like this, is my understanding. None of the other municipalities. Of course, none of them have the kind of systems that we have, with the exception of, I think, Peru,
City's got a camera.
but not like this one.
I don't know about that, but I
This
know
one,
they
I
got
don't know that
cameras
the
that they-
cities, I don't know if the cities can actually go into laterals to take a look at what's going on. This can go from the main line and go into laterals.
We need to, I think that would be something we need to know, but I mean, we had a big project when we spent $60,000.
Well, this actually saved us money, Marty, in the long run, because we had some areas that were not able to be sleeved. Had we started a sleeving process and gotten to an area where the pipes had shifted and could not be sleeved, we would have had to stop the sleeving process and then go through and start excavating to rectify that problem. Now we know where those deficiencies are, and we can go in there, we can make the pipe replacement and continue on with our sleeving so that it saves time and in effect will save money.
Can they be leased?
Anything can be leased, I'm sure.
I'm just saying, if we don't use it 52 weeks
Even
a
if,
year.
even if, yeah.
lease it.
Wasn't that what the 60,000 was?
No, the 60,000 was the cost of hiring somebody to go through with their camera equipment and
Well,
tell
that's
us.
what it's kind of the same as leasing.
Lease,
No, I
lease
think-
with operator
Right,
is kind of what we did.
I don't know that he can do, like, going to the laterals, but Bob's Instant Plumbing right in the town of Plattsburgh has the ability to do it. I mean, he's done it in electrical conduits for me before. So, and he's got it right
Camera?
there, yeah. So,
Bob's got it, rotor's got
I
it,
mean,
that's what I said. I
we
know
could
he said
easily,
he's
you
got
know,
it.
on an as-needed basis, call him up and pay him by the hour as opposed to owning a piece of equipment we use twice a year.
The committee will bring your concerns back,
That's what,
Mr. Stanek.
Could we also get a feeling for what he would anticipate the price to
Mhm.
be? And if that was expected to be paid for, I know he's wanted that addressed today, if that was gonna be paid for out of the current budget, or if it was something he was going
Okay.
to next year? I mean, if he's aware of a number of existing situations where they're going to have to lease, hire, or buy, then, I mean, that can be factored in too.
Mhm.
Gerard, have him check too and at least put a call into like Bob's and find out what they charge by the hour to do that service, and at least we can weigh both options.
Right.
I'll look for quotes from other
Yeah,
providers.
I mean, they're set up right in town.
Okay.
All right, any further discussion on that item? The next couple go a little more quickly. Deborah wasn't here Friday, and you could see, I put that out, and it didn't work quite as well as she does. I don't know if you had a copy of the email from Paul Scott?
Yes.
Okay. That's something we really should come to grips with very soon, because it's budget season. Do we create that line? I think you're all pretty familiar with what's going on with Complete Streets and the value, and the committee that's volunteered did very well. If there are any questions, if any of you had a chance to talk with Phil Lombardi or anyone else involved in that, Tom, aren't you involved in that as well?
Yeah.
And Marty, you've been to a couple of meetings?
yes.
Yeah, I believe that there should be a line item for that particular thing. We've created this committee, and there will be some expenses, and they have to come to us every time and say, well, we need $100 for this, we need that. It's a very conservative committee in terms of spending money. I don't think you're gonna have to worry about, you know, hey, if we're going out and buying something or doing something that wouldn't be profitable. And I'm sure that they would let you know how they would want to use it. But if we don't put a line item in, then there isn't going to be any money available. And I prefer not to have the line item rather than just say, well, take it out of the selection general fund or something, you know, doing it that way. The other thing is, if this committee really gets off the ground and if they are successful, we may need to actually put more in. Now, there were a number of discussions. They've already identified some areas that we could use in terms of the sidewalks, in terms of crossing lines and things like that. Now, those are normally done by highway or by other departments. So they were wondering whether or not money could come from those departments, or whether that would need to be going through here. We have a sidewalk fund, we had those, but we didn't do any sidewalks.
Not much fun in that fund either.
No.
Exactly. So I believe that they're looking at, well, if we had something there, that they could say, this is a critical need here for complete streets, and this will help in areas. Now, they really are evaluating each intersection and each area in terms of walkability, in terms of bicycles, in terms of speed of the traffic, etc. What roads in the town would be okay for bicycling and things like this. not necessarily designated lanes, but there are many people now, because of the new hotels, where our restaurants are, things that are having to walk across, or going to the mall, or going to these things, having to walk across areas where it's impossible to get across. Many of the ones that already exist that have, you can push it and say, okay, here, you can walk now. If you can get 1/4 of the way across the road, that's as far as you can go before it's stopped. So there is a need to have some money there.
The 5,000 isn't going to do, in my mind, isn't going to do anything to complete streets. That funds a committee, it creates a line. I would venture, none of us would argue the value of that initiative and things that are going on that are related to that and economic development, job creation. I would support a line, but I think it should be in the general fund at this point. The implementation of, again, infrastructure that really addresses this is another issue. I like what you said in the beginning, Tom, that this initiative be recognized as valued, and we encourage this committee. It's an excellent committee. People we've had volunteer many times, and support it in the general with the 5 in the 2014 budget. There might actually be some things that could be done, signage or something, but I mean, I would almost anticipate seeing from a committee budget 3,500 of that rolling over next year, right? But I think it sends the right message if we can start with that. We'll just pull it out of something else in the general fund. Anybody else have any other comments on that, just to move the discussion? I would support it. Is A. Paul Scott going to continue to be chair, do you think?
Yes.
I know he's going to lose his interim job pretty soon. He'll probably get another one somewhere. But.
Well, as of now, you haven't said anything about not.
Good, good. Any other discussion about that? If everybody's in agreement, I'll have Diane generate that for us. We'll just find the place to, like I said, Rob, Peter and Paul a little bit, come up with 5,000 out of the general. Make it a general fund line. Okay. So you can let the committee know. The board really appreciates what they're doing. We acknowledge what they're doing, and we want to support it. The hard part will be the infrastructure. But there are a number of grants and other initiatives, things going on that, especially Sumac River.
They recognize this also, but it's not coordinated.
Yeah.
And they would like something to be able to coordinate.
It's in the storming stage before norming. Item number 4.
They were just realizing that if they didn't ask to get it in this year, it would be a whole another year.
Yep.
They wouldn't be able to use any.
It's going in. Item number 4, after hours. I know I emailed this. I think Deborah said she had one person who was able to go. I encourage that one for all the reasons you could probably write as well as I can say. I don't know if I've sent to you or not, but the same date, there's another event I just got information on. I am going to attend. It is another Vision to Action community forum. Did I send that out?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. And it'll be leaving this one and going to that one. So that's my plan.
That's at 7 o'clock.
That one starts at 7.
And then this one?
This one goes 5:37. You can leave anytime. So I will leave by 6:30. But anyway, each of them requires an RSVP. If I sent the other, you can just RSVP yourself. If you want Deb to RSVP for you on the business, let her know, she'll do so. If you just want to do it yourself, that's fine. As always, we usually just pay our own when we get to the door individually and don't seek reimbursement on those.
Is that the day we're having our budget session?
Yes, that's one of them. I don't have it on there, and I really won't take time right now because we're going to be very, very, very close to completing this part before we break for the interview session. We had an economic development roundtable here. Gerard was able to participate. We haven't had a chance to really discuss that, but it's a information gathering. It was designed as an information gathering session as part of the development of a strategic economic development master plan that the board supported and we've been working on for some time. It got put on the back shelf for a little bit because we were inundated with the next item, the home program that we are closing, thank you God, and the micro enterprise grant program, which is ramping. It was a very good collection of, I'll say, the movers and shakers within the region, not just in the town. We had 3 presidents in the room. President Etling, President Jablonski, and President Paul from across the road.
Grasso.
Grasso, thank you. I had Paul Sands in my hand and I couldn't get him out. And just a real nice cross-section discussing issues and then solutions. The end result, as we break that data apart and look at it, should help tell us where we need to prioritize, the things we need to do, the programs, the projects to promote and stimulate economic development, job creation. I've got an event tomorrow that I think is going to be kind of exciting about that as well. I'll tell you more about that at some later point. But Champlain Valley's doing okay. I've been looking at a lot of data trying to make sense of it, and there's reason for a little optimism. If we could secede from the rest of the state and the rest of the country, I think we might fare fairly well. But and I know it's been said many times over the years, you know, New York City is so very different, so very different needs and managed in such very unique ways. But by then, when Wall Street's doing well, we get a little bit of that too. So it's, you know, we're a whole, and that's the way it's going to stay. But that was a pretty exciting event, and you'll get more information on that. I mentioned it primarily to let you know what happened, to let you know we continue to work on that project, and it was a real dynamic event. Our consultants are seriously thinking of letting that be a flagship event for a presentation in New York City. And again, more to come on that.
May I just
Yes, sir.
make one comment on this business after hours? This at 5:30. That's one of the biggest ones we got. Water and sewer at 4:30 on Thursday, the same day. So
Welcome to my world.
that takes a little bit more precedence, I think.
I'm not expecting to miss the 4:30 water wastewater, but I think after in depth of an hour of that, very focused and intense.
If you don't pay till you get to the door, you haven't lost anything.
Yep.
You don't get to the door.
Some of those sessions, you know, we may have to go back, and I know there's a lot of concern with that one because of the needs that are not in the budget. And I don't know how you're going to get them in the budget, and you're not going to budget them because there's no money for them. You have to strategize and how to prioritize and then how to fund the activities. I found the last couple of rounds, budgets weren't as hard as we thought. We began to talk about, you know, whether you do 5 oil changes or 4 oil changes in a month. The bottom line is what's in the budget is pretty much stuff that's needed to operate. There's not a lot of exciting stuff to chew on. But there's a position here and there and a couple of requests. But I'm aware of that, Tom. Home program, as I said, I have a letter from Mr. Correll to the board indicating the final drawdown, the project's closed. It had to be closed by September 28th, I believe, and I think it was September 27th, and we were getting the final documentation in. But it looks like it's closing out. We also had some very good news with a couple of the other CDBG grants that Phil's been working on and actually got closure on them, which was very good because I'm talking about going back to NATEC and Multina and, you know, those first 4 that surfaced that were absolute chaos and no organization. So I think we finally, 7 years later, mopped them up. the rezoning, and we got about 3 or 4 minutes we can pick up with this when we come back. On Ruger Street, and I know, you know, our zoning board is working with that as well. We've had quite a bit of discussion about that one parcel. And Marty and I had a conversation with Chris Labarge, and this is, these are some notes from that discussion. I was quite interested in the bullets that he suggested as ways to get some assurance that what our concerns were would not happen. I'm not sure how we get that legally. I had some conversations with Phil Von Bargen. He's concerned that the entire rezone project that is needing to come to closure could be held up for more weeks because of this single parcel in order to get all the language we need. What Phil verbally suggested to me is that we consider going forward and revisit that and do an amendment for a single parcel and not rush it, to make sure that it's done correctly, to get the assurances we want, and not delay the rezone. So,
And there's an issue that I have a concern with, that I think needs to be addressed. If we rezone it, mobile home,
manufactured.
manufactured home, am I correct that they can, well, a person could seek to locate a mobile home park?
With permission of the
With
board.
permission of the board and oversight of the planning board. If on the other hand, we variance this, then it's specific to the use that's approved for the variance.
I think you're probably correct.
Yeah.
Makes some sense.
So it may be that we can achieve what the developer is looking for, but we can at the same time make sure that we're not gonna have somebody, you know, come back around 3 or 4 years later and wanna change the nature of their project, and we've opened the door we didn't wanna open.
Yeah.
Right, Chris isn't gonna own it forever.
And
And that becomes the problem.
that's really well understood.
We thought, he laughed, he said, wow,
Yeah.
he said, everything has a price.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
I'm
understandable.
sure.
We'll want to discuss that, I think, a little more, but am I correct if I mentioned in general that this board would not want that to get in the way of wrapping up the rezoning, and we also don't disagree with the vision created, but maybe it needs to be done by variance, it'll be rezoned at a later time. Okay, general kind of. My last comment I'm going to take, I'm going to ask for executive session. I got a letter today, just heads up everyone, American Legion Post 20 Veterans Day is going to be November 11 with the event ceremony beginning at 11 a.m. We've had very, very good participation in that one, and if you're able to make it, just show up. With that said, 11 a.m.
Thank you.
11th day, 11th month at 11 o'clock. I'd asked to go into an executive session for a, I believe the way we best discuss this is a personnel issue, but in all transparency, it's a purpose of interviews.
And we all state, I think you did state the position then.
To fill the position of finance manager.
And will we also be talking about the acquisition and
No,
sale?
not in
No?
this.
Okay.
I think we need to come
So
out.
come out and go into another one?
That way, if there's action, we can take it
All
or
right.
not,
Yeah.
and then we'll go into the other, and we're clear with what we're doing.
I
Could
make
I have
a
a
motion that we go to executive session
I'll second that.
for the purpose of interview of a prospective candidate for the finance manager's position, is that the right term?
Yes, it is.
And I was second.
Seconded by Gerard. Any
I just say, he said candidate. You should put that.
interview candidates? Interviews, I think I said. Any discussion? Can we have a roll?
Thomas
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Paul Lemoyne,
Yes.
Guy Bennett.
Yes.
Bernie Doc.
Yes, we will stand adjourned.
No.
We will stand
We're
at,
not standing anywhere, we're just going into.
Not yet.
We'll be back.
going in executive session. We're gonna stand and go in executive session. 7:02.
He's so anxious to go home.
Close but no cigar.
We gotta adjust a whole bunch of clocks in this building, or your watch, what are you?
I've got the same
Bernie.
matter.
You want me to stay? Or not that you're gonna do
I
that?
don't think there's a need, I'll pick these.
That camera thing is not gonna go tonight.
That's what I'm hearing. They changed their mind.
Well,
I'm not sure, the only thing I could get is some concern that it be tabled or voted down.
No,
I'd rather just
that's
vote.
theirs.
Don't worry about it.
They don't do
you
work
want me to
sessions.
stay?
I don't think it makes any sense.
Okay.
It'll be a couple hours.
Oh, okay.
Are you a candidate?
Yeah.
I think that's you. No, they aren't anymore, aren't they? Is there more on the agenda? There's another candidate at
I got
7:45.
draft resolution, that's all I'm not
Is
saying.
there, but so they're gonna do this executive session, and then there's another dude coming.
They're gonna do 2 interviews.
Right, and then they're gonna do another executive session for something else, I forgot what he said it was, but.
No, the 2 interviews.
Sale of property,
Buying and selling of the property.
exactly. And then after that, what's on the agenda?
That's it.
Nada.
Nothing.
Aloha.
All right?
Yeah. I wanna show you something.
Sure.
Yep.
I wanna ask you something. Can I have your budget for a minute? This is the budget that Diane gave to you, right?
Yep.
Because there's no sewer districts on it.
What?
Nothing about sewer districts in it. There's nothing about sewer districts in it. So I think she forgot to put something in.
I don't know, I'm not the one that makes it.
I know, I just said, this is what she gave you, this is the same thing that's on file, what you gave me last week, right?
Yeah, but there's 3 more copies, there are 4 more copies in there. So,
Yeah, but she hasn't given you anything since last week, has she?
No.
So, there's something, I think she forgot to do something. I think.
Unless you, when they reprinted that, is that yours?
No, but you gave me one, you handed me one.
All right, she gave me 3.
Right, and you
I
handed
gave
me
them
one.
all 3 is.
And that's the same as the one, because I put that online, and that's exactly the
I
same.
know that, but did it get printed on the back side? Some of that stuff is
Can we
printed on
look?
both sides.
Can we look in your office?
Some of that, is his printed on both sides? Is that a
What's the one
recopy
side?
or what?
No, that's offline, I scanned mine and put it online.
Well, maybe you didn't scan it all.
Yeah, I did, there was nothing on the backs.
There's stuff on the back pages, I know that. They're printed on both sides. See, his
Page
is
numbers,
printed on both
page
sides.
numbers work.
Page
4,
numbers are
5,
1,
6,
2, 3,
7,
4,
8,
5, 6,
3.
7.
Yeah,
Well, if they're all paged, then.
Yeah, it's
page
weird.
numbers work.
But there's, let me see it for a minute. There's nothing of the sewer districts in here at all. Which is very odd. She's got here, but
I don't know, let me go
appropriation.
get another one, I'll give it to you and you can compare
Well,
it.
just look, yeah, we'll just have to look.
Yeah, we'll give it to you.
Did you look at the big one that I put on?
No, it's like, I figured this one out before I came here tonight.
In the big one, there's nothing about, ambulance districts.
Yeah, I saw that note, I saw that circle out here.
We have ambulance here,
Right.
but when you go to the big line item one, they don't even have it. Right here, see?
Yeah.
Not included, that's in the big one. Weird, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's the problem,
Yeah.
shoddy work.
Now, why is I'm learning.
Yeah. So what's the scoop on Thursday night? Are we on for
Yes,
Thursday?
they're on for Thursday.
Not that I want, okay, let's see.
What do you leave it?
That's it. Okay.
They don't understand the word of subcommittee.
Base stormwater. We have what do you have, before the fire districts? We have base stormwater, yeah.
Yep, based on water.
And then fire districts, and then water and sewer department, and then lighting districts, and then sewer districts. Was that in yours?
Right one behind it.
Oh, just 2 lines, yeah. It's just 2 lines, I think. No?
He's got it right there.
Water districts. Page 8 is lighting districts.
On page 11. With base storm. Fire.
Okay, so we
There's
have,
page 8 for light.
page 8 is lighting, and then what do you have after that?
Town of Plattsburgh.
See, this wasn't in the one you gave me last week, this page.
Well, they're the same thing, that's it. That's the one that I had.
Yeah, but maybe she didn't,
But when you
maybe.
copied them, whoever copied them.
No,
out
I
there
didn't
was
take
making
mine
them-
apart.
Oh, that's
No,
it.
I'm just saying that maybe, this wasn't, maybe she missed a page on one of them that she gave you, you know what I'm saying? When she put them together.
But anyway.
You understand what I'm saying? Because that wasn't in there. Can I have this one?
Yep.
And water districts?
Yep, water district.
You have water districts, and then you have ambulance districts?
Yep, I had that.
Yeah, just as 2 lines. Yeah. But these, let me see these sewer districts. Yeah, that's right. No, this page wasn't in there.
No.
And then when Jerry copied, he copied them and none of them had that in there. Okay. No, I'm not saying you did it. She may have just, sometimes,
That's one of the 3 copies.
well, you gave me one of the 3 copies.
I know, well, this is my copy of the third, I had 3 copies.
Yes.
I gave 2 out and kept 1.
Should we make a copy of this
No,
then?
you can have that.
But do you have one?
I've got another
Oh,
one.
you got the original stamped
Yeah,
copy,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you one of them, she just didn't get the page in. Because Jerry, I didn't take mine apart. Weird, huh? Never mind. Okay, that's good, so I'll have to put the page on. Thank you.
So,
The word subcommittee, they keep thinking, okay, they're moving the meeting from the 18th.
No, not.
I know.
What happened, no, the reason I asked you about the 18th was because Tina Leclerc,
Right,
she said she reserved it for the red hats.
right.
Did she?
No. She might have, they haven't told me. What happened was the first time, the week of, what was it, October 2nd, Jack had a subcommittee meeting.
Right.
I think they might have freed up the 18th. And I said, you got the memo, Art. These are the dates. All I've been asking for, and clearly in my notes, is subcommittee meeting. And Art said, you've got the 18th and you got the 11th. So he's gonna straighten it out with the.
With the red hat. Oh, he is.
I don't know. I didn't want to get into it. I just made sure we had the.
Does he know about the red hats?
Yes, because Gary knew about it.
Okay. Because she
mean,
said,
that's
because she
something.
rode with me, Tina rode with me to one of the town meetings, and she said, well, she said, you meet on Thursday, and I said, yeah, and she said, well, we have the red hats coming in here that night.
Well, they can join our meeting. That's what Gary wrote.
So this is important to know.
Mhm.
Note it. On 4:30 on, I think it's the 18th, they're doing, the water and sewer department is meeting for their
Right.
budget hearing, and that's an important one. Well, you heard them talk about a truck, and I think we need that like a hole in the head, right? Rent the goddamn thing.
It was a night and day from the last one of these I was at.
That's what you're watching.
All of a sudden, it was very professional. You know, we gotta cut here, we gotta watch that. Last time, it was just willy-nilly, let's have fun.
I think now that people are watching, they're being careful. I mean, I'd like to think that.
It was night and day, from my perspective. They're 2 different groups.
Well, duh. Here you go, baby cakes, you know, so I'm gonna
Can I
take
help
this
you with
one.
something?
I'm just gonna, yeah, let's see, let me turn this off.